the current governor of Arkansas, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, at a rally on Tuesday in response to Vice President Kamala Harris's conversation that she's been having around family issues related to IVF and abortion and other things related to the family and biology, I guess, had this comment to make.
My kids serve as a permanent reminder of what's important. They also keep me humble. You can walk into a room like this where people cheer when you step onto the stage and you might think for a second that you're kind of special. Then you go home and your kids remind you very quickly you're actually not that big of a deal. And ours are pretty good at it. So my kids keep me humble. Unfortunately, Kamala Harris doesn't have anything keeping her humble. You would think after 4 years of straight failure, she would know a little humility. Unfortunately, she doesn't.
What a maroon.
I didn't even know where to begin that clip between J.D. Vance and his ugly response to women who do not have children, either by choice or by nature. They're not able to have conceived children, as somehow being less valuable to our society. And the fact that as a stepmother, which, oh, by the way, Sarah, Huckabee, she is a stepmom. Stepmoms are mothers too. Sarah Huckabee. Sarah Huckabee.
Yeah, Huckabee.
Yeah, no, Huckabee, because Kamala, if they keep going, this is the thing about Republicans. You're going to go around and deliberately mispronounce someone's name.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I'm going to deliberately mispronounce yours because you know better. You're a grown-ass woman. Act like one instead of a 10-year-old.
Well,
her name is Kamala Harris. Call her Kamala. If you have the balls to do it, call her Kamala. But otherwise, Huckabee. I like Huckabee.
I got you. I watched her thing that you just played. At first, my mouth dropped open, and then I started rolling on the floor in laughter. Look, I'm a step parent, may not be a stepmother, stepfather.
Right.
She wants to make a distinction there. But there have been times in my life where I was getting a lot of attention outside of the house, probably more than she has ever gotten as the governor of Louisiana. And when Arkansas, right. When I came home, my kids could have given a rat's patootie about what anybody thought or was saying about me outside. So trust me, you don't have to be a blood parent to have that humbling experience, Sarah Huckabee. What a dumb thing to say.
It's just, it is dumb. I don't know why. Why do Republicans now feel that they've got to show their ugly ass? That they got one that is so filled with bile and vitriol and disdain for people personally. I mean, how could you stand on the stage as a mother and question another mother, knowing nothing about her life?
Because she doesn't give her any points for being a mother. Why? Because she's a stepmother, and that apparently doesn't count. Because apparently, if you're a step parent, you are relegated off to the side. You're not involved in any way whatsoever with the kids in the house because you're a step parent. You're only involved if you are a blood parent. Now, find me anybody, even the dummies who support her, who think that makes any sense at all.
It doesn't make any sense. We know the stories of blood parents who are more abusive and more negligent of their children than step parents. In a lot of cases, it's the step parent who steps in.
That is correct.
To prevent the further abuse by the natural parent.
Do not go using truth and logic to make your point.
Damn, there I go again. What am I thinking? So let's bring this all to an appropriate comma, because we know that there's more coming in this campaign. At this stage, given what we've talked about today, what we've known, and even some of the stuff we haven't had a chance to get into, how do you assess this race as voting began this week in Pennsylvania? Will begin to fall into place, early voting, that is, in other parts of the country in the next couple of weeks. How do you think voters right now are taking this all in and then translating that to their ballots?
I think it is and will remain not only through Election Day, but for long after, very, very close. This is an election that will end up in the courts without question.
I agree with you on that very much. So that takes me to the point that I want to emphasize to everybody. And I'd love to get your thoughts on this. My view, in light of what Rick just said, is that's why we need to overwhelm the ballot box with our vote.
Amen. Amen. If there's ever been a time to go vote,
that's it.
This is the moment.
This is the moment. If you don't want this race to drag on into December and into January, if you don't want the potential prospect of Republicans in Congress having this thrown to the Congress because of an electoral college tie, which could very well happen when you look at the map, and have Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, along with Republicans, because we vote by congressional districts when it gets to the House, right? And then all of a sudden you realize, hey, Republicans have more congressional districts than Democrats do.
That's correct.
And they will select Donald Trump as president.
You bet.
Period. Full stop. Not a scare tactic. It is constitutional truth.
Yep.
This moment is where you get your ass registered. You find 3, 4, 5 friends who are sitting there going, I don't know if this thing really matters. I don't think I'm going to vote. And you offer them everything from a Twinkie to a bourbon, whatever it takes to get preferably a Twinkie and a bourbon. To get them to register and to vote, because the more we are voting, the more we overwhelm the ballot boxes in our community with our vote, the less anchor, the less truth, the less gravity the lie will have that this election was stolen.
Well, the reality is nations get the leader they deserve.
Yes, they do.
They really do.
Yes, they do.
All through history. So if Donald Trump is our next president, he's the leader we deserve. And we deserve it because all of these people who supposedly give the edge to Vice President Harris didn't come out and vote.
Did not.
Therefore, we get the president we deserve.
Every single time. Rick Ungar, I appreciate you, my brother, like no other. And I thank you again for taking a moment to come and share some thoughts with us as we get to the back end of this presidential campaign. You know I'm going to get you back on.
My pleasure.
Have you further digest and help us understand what is about to happen and what did happen.
I hope I'm getting out of bed after what did happen.
Yeah, exactly. You and me both. Folks, take to heart what Rick just said about voting. I cannot stress enough the importance of your going to the polls and being a part of voting on behalf of the country. A lot of my Republican friends out. Yeah, go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, I just want to add one thing to that because I think it's important. I live in New York, right? And it's a general assumption that if you live in New York, the Democrat is going to win.
Right.
I know many people who go, why should I go vote? It doesn't matter. The Democrat's going to win. That's just wrong.
Wrong.
That is just wrong. If you don't vote, keep your mouth shut. You have no right to complain after the result.
He's right. He's absolutely right. And I think everyone should recognize that the reason the Republicans got the House in the last cycle was because of the vote in New York City, New York State.
New York State, that is correct.
And that those 5 congressional seats that moved to the Republican column because Democrats thought they had it under wraps, and it was because of where they were.
Would you just repeat what you just said? I want you to drive it home. What Michael just said is absolutely a fact. I know. I live in New York. Say it again.
So the fact that it's New York and you think that the Democrats have got this all under control and they're going to win these seats in upstate New York, that is not necessarily true, because the reason Republicans have the House is because the Democrats lost those 5 congressional seats in a blue state.
And check it out if you think that's nonsense, because it is absolutely 120% true.
So as we start to go out the door, I want to leave you with something I hope makes you chuckle. Just
Is it as good as J.D. Vance's cookbook for 100 ways to prepare cat?
In fact, I think it's not only complimentary, but helps deliver the product.
Eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets of the people that live there.
People of Springfield, please don't eat my cats. Why would you do that? Eat something else. People of Springfield, please don't eat my dog. Here's a catalog of other things to eat.
They're eating the dogs.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
They're eating the cats.
Meow, 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 meow.
They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
They're eating the cats.
Meow, 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 meow.
They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs.
That is no, that is from the Kiffness.
Oh, that's great.
And I love the post that at MJ Morgan J. Friedman puts up sometimes. And that one, folks, I just send you out on that one. Until next time, get your behind registered, get your friends registered, get out there and start voting, because voting started this week. All right, guys, until next time, be safe, be well, God bless. And Rick, thanks again for being on the Michael Steele podcast.
Always a blast.